Hello, my name's Floyd Caldwell, and it is, what is today? Today is September the 26th, 2025, 8:28 p.m. from Nova Scotia, Canada. I'm going to do an update on the video that I put out on September the 21st about the alert. And if you remember in that video, it took me 3 times to do that video. And so out of that, from since then, since the 21st to now, what has taken place in reference to what I was talking about, the UN has met, and if anybody who has followed it can see that they're definitely not talking about peace and safety. What's happened from the United Nations has only escalated things, because certain sides have taken a strong stance. Both sides have taken a strong stance on the Israel question. And so now we see a real divide on the planet when it comes to the topic of Israel. Isn't it funny? Little old Israel seems to be the topic of the planet. And isn't it odd that the Bible said that that's exactly what would take place in this time? That all nations would have their focus on Israel, and they all are. So they're not talking peace and safety. I didn't hear it mentioned. Okay, I know that initially it was a global meeting of the UN to come and talk about how to bring global peace and safety. But I didn't see anything about peace and safety. So that makes me reference back to what I had originally received in my working and the numbers and things that I put together through the Spirit. You see, in 2020, when they signed the Abraham Peace Accord, they actually said peace and safety. And like I said on the other video, if you go back and you see what transpired on this earth from that time when they said that, you will see sudden destruction did come. Which means that in 2027 would be the end of the 7-year peace treaty, and at the end of this time period is when the nations are supposed to turn against Israel. And so we're right there. We're right there in the doorstep. So 2027 is a time that things seem to be leading towards. Now we know we don't put a time and a date, but we do know the season. And when he puts these numbers together, it just reminds you that how close we are. That when he refers to he comes like a thief in the night, and he refers to that if the homeowner knew when the thief was coming, he would be ready for him. In other words, be ready, because you don't know when he's coming. He says he comes like a thief in the night, like lightning out of the east. That's how quick things are going to happen. And so anyway, so peace and safety was not mentioned there, which makes me think that, well, they didn't mention it. They had the opportunity, but they did mention it in 2020. And so we'll see what transpires, because that's all we're supposed to do. We're supposed to watch. We're not supposed to put dates, because the date doesn't mean anything. Because you see, he says he stand at the door and knock. That knocking is your heartbeat. And when that heartbeat stops beating, so does the knocking. And you don't have a chance to make a proper decision. And you may not even get through this video. You have no idea when you're going to die. So it's not a matter of when these things happen, because if you pass away today, it doesn't matter if they happen this year, next year, 5 years, 10 years. They're going to happen, and you won't have a chance to turn before it happens. So think about that. At the same time, they did blow the 100 shofars, okay, on the Feast of Trumpets. And we've had solar flares coming off the sun, created a couple of earthquakes in, I think it was Argentina, back to back, like just like same happened in Russia. They had those 7 point something there a while ago there, back to back, right in the same place. This is unusual stuff. And he said that there would be earthquakes in diverse places. And what that means, they've changed it. They said different places, but diverse places have a different meaning. It means in places that they don't usually happen. And that's exactly what's happening on the planet. These earthquakes and the volcanoes are set, but the earthquakes are happening in places that they don't usually happen, and they are setting off the volcanoes. So if you don't know, you need to find out what's going on around the world so you understand that this stuff's all coming true. Now, then I talked about a major shift would happen. Oh, yeah, there's a major shift. Just from that UN meeting, there's a shift that has happened. Sides have been, they're planted, and they're sides, okay? I mean, when the Prime Minister of Israel spoke, I mean, half the place empty. They won't even sit to recognize they have their minds made up. They want a two-state solution. And I'll make a comment right here for Canadians. You keep an eye right now. Our government just agreed with a two-state solution in Israel, okay? And I don't have anything against Palestinian people. This is not what this is about, okay? This is about biblical prophecy and what is over that land, okay? I'm not agreeing with how one side's treating the other. That's not what this is about. That's physical stuff. I'm talking above that. And so what's happening to Israel, they're all turning against, you see? And that's biblical prophecy. So there has been a shift that has happened. And it's happened in world events, and it's happened in people. Finally around the world, right, even today, in England, okay, there's, and this is beyond Charlie Kirk anymore. You see, God used Charlie to waken the spirits of his people. And now they're coming out and they're worshiping, okay? And they are not standing back anymore. You can't, because this is the battle. You have to stand. You have to stand on that truth. You represent one of two entities that are operating in this world. The good, you call which one? Good and evil, God, Satan. It's all one or the other. Positive, negative, opposite side. Black, white, up, down, in, out. There's two sides, okay? And one side works on these sets of principles, which is the benefit of man. This one works on the principles, which is the destruction of man. And it's pretty simple as that. Okay, so world events. Okay, I'm just gonna get my glasses here. Okay, right here, onward. Oh, okay, we have to move onward. This is for those basically who know. Okay, it's time to move onward. It's time to share when the doors open for you to share with somebody, because people are looking, even if they don't know they're looking for the truth, that's what they're looking for, because that's the only thing that's going to set these people free, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for some kind of a freedom. I always make a joke, can I just have 5 minutes of happiness a day? Is that too much to ask for, please, governments? World leaders, could I not have just 5 minutes of peace and happiness a day? Is that too much to ask for? And obviously it is. Okay, so just move onward, and the more you do, the more you're going to get revelations. God's going to start talking to people. He's already talking to people who people will least expect for stuff to come out of. So listen to what you're hearing, discern it, and you'll know where it's coming from. Okay, so now we have, okay, of course, the increase of natural disasters ever since, you know, they've had these meetings and those trumpets were blown. Those trumpets are blown. That's to bring on God's movement, and 100 of them. Pretty powerful message, and you're not seeing it all yet. That's only the initiation starts. See, people, when it comes to signs in the Bible, it's not always about the sign itself. It's what's going on when you see the sign. So you see a blood moon, oh yeah, well that's a blood moon, okay, what? Look around the world and see what's happening, the effect that these things happening. You see, the sign's not in the sign, it's in what's going on around. That sign is to get you to look at the other things that are happening. Most people just get fixated on the sign and they don't understand that it's showing you something else. Okay, uprising around the world. Yeah, the spiritual uprising around the world. It's happening, okay? And it's happening to you, you're feeling it, but you're not, until those boxes that call themselves churches, until they open up that box and let the Spirit of God speak in those buildings, well, anybody that goes there, I don't know why you're going there. Because if you don't walk out of that building and the message you hear, if you don't get something that you can apply in your life that minute, what are you going for? Hear a story about Jesus, all the good things he done? Okay, but you don't hear about how he tried to empower you. Okay, and the teachings that you're getting are Bible stories and history lessons, and they're all good and they're all important to know. Okay, but he wants you to know what is not written on the pages of that book. He wants you to know the knowledge that's hidden that Jesus released, that the world couldn't contain the amount of books if it was to be written down. He wants you to know that. They don't want you to know that. I'm not picking on any person individually, because a lot of these people in these churches, they're caught up in something they don't even know. They're deceived. And when they're deceived, they don't know they're deceived, because if they knew they were deceived, they wouldn't be deceived, right? But they're not giving you what you need to get. God wants you to know what's not written on the pages of that book, because that's what's going to give you the power and strength to wear that armor. Okay? And you're going to find that only, you can search out online, you discern what you're hearing. You believe no man what you hear. Okay? Same as what I'm saying. You don't believe what him, you research it. He wants to show you exactly what I'm telling you. But if you repeat what I'm saying, you're doing what everybody else is doing. They're teaching somebody else's truth. Okay? Somebody teaches them, they learn things about God and come up and they repeat what they're told, believing it's the truth. But it doesn't matter if you believe it's the truth, you're supposed to know it's the truth. And the only way you're going to know it's the truth is if you go in and read that book yourself and let him reveal to you what the book means, not just what it says. He says, many people know what that book says. He says, but few know what it means, because there's only one way to find out what it means. That's the unseen writings in there, which can only be revealed from him. And I have another video that talks about how do you approach that book. And how you approach that book is the answer, is the key to understanding. You know, he says, lean not to your own understanding. And he says, the things of man will lead you to destruction. The logic of man will lead to destruction. Take a look around. We got all kinds of knowledge in this world, but we don't have any wisdom to go with it. You see, it's not being used wisely for the benefit of what it could be. But that's another subject again. But the whole thing is that now I'll keep updating on this September 23rd, because this is all connected to the tribulation. So I'll just name this the same title as the other one, but number 2. And then if I do a third one right into the same thing, I'll do number 3. So we can do an ongoing thing of how some of these things are unfolding for you. And you don't have to believe me. Just turn on your media. Just go on. It's all over social media showing you what's going on here. I mean, that thing that hit, that typhoon that hit China the other day, where the winds were like 325 miles an hour. They were saying toothpicks were going through panes of glass. Just picture that. That makes me think of when God says in Revelation, he tells the 4 winds to hold back until he seals the children of God in their forehead. Can you imagine when he unleashes those winds? That's what we're dealing with, folks. That's the power of God. That's who God is. And that's why God deserves respect and worship and glory and praise, the whole thing. He's the creator. And he created us all for our benefit. Again, unfortunately, the enemy has got a hold of this and turned it into chaos. But that's okay. There's good times coming. But they'll only be coming is if you're on the right side. You need to find out the truth. You need to understand that Jesus died for your sins. He sacrificed his body to the Father's will, which I talk in other tapes. And once you know the truth, I will tell you this. Once you know the truth, you will be all over it. There's no reason not to. There is no reason not to follow the principles of God. None. Because every one of them are designed for your joy and happiness is what you're searching for. It's the only answer. He's your creator, remember? He knows exactly the program to set you on to make his creation happy. And with that, God bless. I'm not looking for any support right now. If I ever do need support, I will let you know. But any support that you have out there, give it to somebody that's local to you. Do it in quiet. God says what is done in secret, he will reward openly. That's all the bad stuff you've done in your life too. But anyways, besides that, charity is giving without anybody knowing. He's the only one you need to know, because that, my friends, is building your treasures in heaven where rust and moth cannot destroy. And if you plan on going into the kingdom, it sure would be nice to have some kind of bank account waiting for you, wouldn't it? So with that, bless you, bless your family, and I hope you are under his wings as you walk each day, and each breath is his that he is giving you. God bless.